April 2, 2018 Ottawa, Ontario, Can. Ottawa Senators defenseman Erik Karlsson, 65, shoots the puck in the second period against the Winnipeg Jets at Canadian Tire Centre. Mandatory credit. Mark Desrosiers USA Today Sports. Mark Desrosiers SNY 7 March 18. Larry Brooks writes in the NY Pot that Quinn is en route to Sweden to meet with Lundqvist. NY Post June 16, 18. Quinn is expected to travel to Sweden in early July to meet with Lundqvist. NY Post 6 December 18. Quinn said on Hockey Central at noon that he has been talking with Chris Drury and Jeff Gorton about when he will go to Sweden to meet with Henrik Lundqvist. Rangers GM Jeff Gorton was on Rangers Night Live on MSG on Monday and said the following: "On July the 1st being different, it's a lot different. Over the years we have been pretty active on July 1st and trying to add players to our team and help us push for some of our runs as we move forward. We have a plan in place, and if you saw development camp you saw how many young players we had, and we are trying to develop these guys the right way and give them opportunity. Based on what was out there and some of the opportunities, we felt it was better to stay with our young guys and keep moving forward." March 31, 2018 Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. New York Rangers forward Kevin Hayes 13 skates with the puck against the Carolina Hurricanes at PNC Arena. The New York Rangers defeated the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1. Mandatory credit. James Guillory USA Today Sports. James Guillory. Larry Brooks writes that with how the market has developed, if Kevin Hayes is able to become a UFA next summer, he would likely command a contract of around 5 years and $30 million. NY Post. Brooks writes that the Rangers and Jeff Gorton will have to make a decision on whether to sign him to a similar deal now or move him in a trade. NY Post. He writes that arbitration, and a one-year deal that would allow Hayes to walk directly into free agency is not an option. NY Post. January 8, 2018 Toronto, Ontario, Can. Toronto Maple Leafs left wing Matt Martin 15 during their game against the Columbus Blue Jackets at Air Canada Centre. The Blue Jackets beat the Maple Leafs 3-2 in overtime. Mandatory credit. Tom Szycebowski USA Today Sports. Tom Szycebowski 7 March 18. Larry Brooks writes that it seems like a stretch to think that Jeff Gorton would trade a usable piece of draft pick to get Martin. NY Post 7 February 18. John Tavares signed a 7-year deal worth $77 million on Sunday to join his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs. Tavares, in his time with the Islanders, had 38 points in 43 games against the Rangers. March 24, 2018 New York, USA. New York Rangers center Vladislav Namestyanov 90 awaits a pass against the Buffalo Sabres during the second period at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Danny Wild USA Today Sports. Danny Wild 3:04 p.m. Pierre LeBrun notes that Namestyanov's contract breaks down as $3.5 million, with a $500K signing bonus for this and a base salary of $4 million for next. 2:58 p.m. The Rangers have confirmed the Namestyanov contract. 2:52 p.m. Larry Brooks writes that Namestyanov is re-signing with the Rangers on a 2-year deal worth around $4 million per. February 6, 2018 Ottawa, Ontario, Can. New Jersey Devils right wing Kyle Palmieri 21 chases Ottawa Senators defenseman Erik Karlsson 33 in the third period at Canadian Tire Centre. Mandatory credit. Mark Desrosiers USA Today Sports. Mark Desrosiers. Rangers have signed former Ottawa defenseman Erik Karlsson to a 1-year deal worth $700,000. Mackenzie Clausen, 25, was not qualified by the Senators and has played 113 games in his NHL career, scoring 4 goals and 16 assists. He was a 5th-round pick of Ottawa in 2011 and played in 14 playoff games during the Senators' run to the Eastern Conference Final in 2016-17. November 26, 2017 New York, USA. New York Rangers right wing Michael Grabner 40 skates during the third period against the Vancouver Canucks at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Vincent Carcietta USA Today Sports. Vincent Carcietta 7 January 18, 12:32 p.m. Michael Grabner announced on Twitter that he was heading to Arizona as a UFA. Elliot Friedman and Pierre LeBrun note that it's a 3-year deal for the Grabner with a cap hit of $3.35 million. April 21, 2018 Tampa, Florida, USA. Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman Dan Girardi 5 and defenseman Ryan McDonough 27 talk prior to Game 5 of the first round of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs against the New Jersey Devils at Amalie Arena. Mandatory credit. Kim Clement. USA Today Sports. Kim Clement. Tampa Bay has announced that former Rangers captain Ryan McDonough has signed a 7-year contract extension that will pay him $6.75 million per year starting in 19-20. McDonough is still under contract with a cap hit of $4.7 million. In a statement, McDonough said, "I'm very excited to sign an extension that will keep me with the Lightning organization for the next 8. Since being traded to Tampa Bay earlier this year, my experience with the city, my teammates and the fans has been nothing short of world-class. My family and I are very excited to continue to play and live in Tampa with the ultimate goal of helping to bring the organization its second Stanley Cup." Tampa Bay also recently signed JT Miller to a 5-year extension. Seth Wenig. April 5, 2018. San Jose, California, USA. Colorado Avalanche left wing Blake Comeau 14 celebrates after the team scored against the San Jose Sharks during the third period at SAP Center at San Jose. Mandatory credit. Stan Sazzetto. USA Today Sports. Stan Sazzetto. The 7th of January 18, 12:01 p.m. Blake Comeau is heading to Dallas. Drager. June 30, 18. Larry Brooks writes that the Rangers' plan of attack when free agency opens will likely focus on adding some bottom six wingers. NY Post. Brooks said that the Rangers hope to only sign players to 2-year deals and lists guys like Tommy Wingels, Blake Comeau, Leo Komarov as veteran options. NY Post. March 15, 2018. Buffalo, New York, USA. Toronto Maple Leafs center Leo Komarov 47 during the game against the Buffalo Sabres at KeyBank Center. Mandatory credit. Kevin Hoffman. USA Today Sports. Kevin Hoffman. The 7th of January 18, 4:12 p.m. Komarov has signed a 4-year deal with the Islanders for $3 million per. Johnston. June 30, 18. Aaron Portzline notes that the Rangers and Blue Jackets have expressed interest in Komarov. Larry Brooks writes that the Rangers might be interested in a 1 to 2-year deal for fourth-liner money. NY Post. March 14, 2018. New York, USA. New York Rangers goalie Alexander Georgiev 40 makes a save against the Pittsburgh Penguins during the first period at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. June 29, 18. Georgiev said during prospect camp that he thinks the backup goalie spot is his to win. NY Post. Elias Anderson said that Georgiev is a fast and flexible goalie that reads the game well. NY Post. June 26, 18. Rangers GM Jeff Gorton was asked Monday about the Rangers' backup goalie situation and said that they are still trying to figure that situation out. James Carey Lauder. The 7th of January 18. Larry Brooks notes that Reeves preferred to stay in the West and that state taxes also came up as an issue. Brooks noted that the Rangers would have needed to come up with more money to make up the difference and either didn't or wouldn't. June 30, 18, 9:32 p.m. Reeves is staying in Vegas on a 2-year deal worth $2.775 million per. Drager. June 29, 18, 4:57 p.m. Larry Brooks tweets that while the Rangers have not been told directly but are aware that he is no longer a potential free agent option. December 21, 2017. New York, USA. New York Knicks executive chairman James Dolan watches during the second quarter against the Boston Celtics at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. James Dolan announced on Wednesday night that MSG is considering branching off the Knicks and Rangers from the entertainment side of the company. The CEO of the Madison Square Garden company is attempting to create a direction for the sale of the Knicks, Rangers and Liberty. In 2017, Leslie Alexander offered up the sale of the Houston Rockets. According to ACNBA.com, the Rockets were sold for reportedly $2.2 billion. The Knicks are expected to sell for more than this, which would be an NBA record. September 18, 2017. New York, USA. New York Rangers center Elias Anderson 50 during warm-up before game against New York Islanders at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Noah K. Murray. USA Today Sports. Noah K. Murray. Elias Anderson said that he will spend a month of this offseason in the New York area training with Ben Prentice before returning to Sweden. NYR Anderson said that he learned a lot during his time with the Rangers and how much work is needed to become a superstar in this league. NYRangers.com. He added, "Gotta keep working and one day hope I can go out there and dominate." NYRangers.com. September 19, 2017. Tampa, Florida, USA. Tampa Bay Lightning defenseman Liber Hajek 43 pressures Carolina Hurricanes forward Warren Fogle 37 during the third period of a hockey game at Amalie Arena. Mandatory credit. Reinhold Mate. USA Today Sports. Reinhold Mate, while speaking with the media, Rangers prospect Liber Hajek said that he will do everything to make the Rangers out of training camp this year and adds, "I believe I will make it this year. That is my goal." NYR Hajek said that he is feeling strong, healthy and believes in himself and his game. NYR. He described himself as a two-way defenseman that can make a good first pass, join the rush, shoot, pass and score some goals. NYR Hajek said that he will stay in the NY area this summer to train and that his focus will be on getting stronger and preparing for training camp and the chance to play in the NHL. NYR. December 5, 2017. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, USA. New York Rangers right wing Rick Nash 61 handles the puck against the Pittsburgh Penguins during the first period at PPG Paints Arena. New York won 4-3. Mandatory credit. Charles Leclerc. USA Today Sports. Charles Leclerc, June 29, 4:22 p.m. John Shannon tweets that 8 teams made calls on Nash and that he could have agreed to a 3-year deal worth $15 million before deciding to forego the July 1 signing window. June 28, 12:13 p.m. Rick Nash's agent Joel Resnick tells Darren Dreger that Nash is undecided on whether he wants to play next in the NHL and will not take part in the July 1 free agency. Dreger says that the multiple teams with interest in Nash have been made aware of this decision. Aaron Portzline of The Athletic wrote earlier this week that Columbus had been in contact with their former captain and that while reports last weekend indicated that Nash was thinking about possible retirement, he was interested in a multi-year deal. The Athletic. New York Rangers. Brad Richards in action during an NHL hockey game against the Philadelphia Flyers, Saturday, March 1, 2014, in Philadelphia. App photo, Matt Slocum, app. Brad Richards was on TSN Radio on Wednesday to discuss the process that led him to sign with the Rangers in July of 2011. Bardown. Richards had teams visit him at the Newport Sports office outside of Toronto and said that he ultimately made his decision between the Rangers and the Kings. Bardown. Richards said that he would have preferred to have the 5-day interview period that exists right now for pending UFAs and that if he could do it over again, he would have visited teams and seen facilities and possible places to live. Bardown. May 19, 2018. Tampa, Florida, USA. Tampa Bay Lightning right wing Ryan Callahan 24 during the first period in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final in the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs at Amalie Arena. Mandatory credit. Kim Clement. USA Today Sports. Kim Clement 6:41 p.m. Larry Brooks writes that Jeff Gorton is an interested third party in the John Tavares situation because the Rangers have the cap space to help teams like Tampa, Toronto or Dallas make room in the event Tavares wants to sign in one of those places. NY Post 9:19 a.m. Larry Brooks writes that while the Rangers will have a lot of cap space this summer, they do not intend on becoming a depository for faded veterans. NY Post. He notes though that if a team like the Penguins were to offer a sweetener, the Rangers might be interested in reacquiring Carl Hagelin and the 1 year and $4 million cap hit he has left on his deal. NY Post. May 29, 2015. New York, USA. New York Rangers right wing Martin St. Louis 26 warms up before Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final of the 2015 Stanley Cup playoffs against the Tampa Bay Lightning at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. March 1, 2018. Dallas, Texas, USA. Tampa Bay Lightning center JT Miller 10 skates against the Dallas Stars during the first period at the American Airlines Center. Mandatory credit. Jerome Moron. USA Today Sports. Jerome Moron. Tampa Bay has announced that they have signed former Ranger JT Miller to a 5-year contract worth $5.25 million per. Miller was traded by the Rangers, along with Ryan McDonough, for a package that included Vladimir Sternov, Brett Howden, Liber Hajek, Tampa's 2018 first-round pick and a 2019 second-round pick that can turn into a first-round pick if they win the Stanley Cup. Jerome Moron. Jeff Gorton said at the draft that 9th overall pick Vitaly Kravtsov wants to be in North America sooner than later. NY Post. Kravtsov is believed to have 1 year left on his KHL contract but may also have the option of buying out that. NY Post. If Kravtsov were to buy out the final year of his KHL contract, he would be allowed to play in the AHL in the same way that Philip Coutinho did last. NY Post. October 31, 2017. New York, USA. A general view of Madison Square Garden before a game between the Vegas Golden Knights and New York Rangers. Mandatory credit. Danny Wild. USA Today Sports Danny Wilde, June 25, 18. Gorton said on Monday that the Rangers want to add some character players that can come in and teach these guys the ropes and that have a pretty good pedigree to come here and help us. June 24, 18. When asked about free agency on Saturday, Jeff Gorton said that the Rangers will talk to the players that they like and see if there are any holes on the roster they can fill. Gorton was asked if there was interest in bringing back any of the players that they traded and said that while he technically can't talk about that, since those players belong to other teams, if he were to be asked in a few days he would have a better answer to the question. Larry Brooks wrote that Gorton will jump into the free agent market but is not expected to swim in the deep end of expensive and long-term deals. NY Post Rangers GM Jeff Gorton met with the media on Monday following the first day of development camp and said MSGNYR, on day one of camp, looks good, all the kids are in shape, ready to go. For a lot of them it's a lot of travel and they are tired but it's good, first impressions are all good so far. On seeing the 3 first-rounders, Kanda is going out now, I think, so we will see in a minute, but for why we took them, skill, speed, competitiveness, character, all the things we are trying to look for and rebuild around, we feel that they all have those characteristics, so that is what sticks out the most. How many guys at this camp do you think can be on the roster? When you are looking at the 2 first-rounders from last year, they will give it a go and be close. We signed a few Euro free agents in Lindqvist and Meskanen that we like a lot. There is so much time now, but we will never stop anybody from doing it if they're good enough. We will let it play itself out this summer and see how they do. November 22, 2017. Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. New York Rangers forward Chris Kreider 20 points after his third-period goal against the Carolina Hurricanes at PNC Arena. The New York Rangers defeated the Carolina Hurricanes 6-1. Mandatory credit, James Guillory. USA Today Sports. James Guillory, Chris Kreider, Vitaly Kravtsov and Nils Lundqvist joined Bruce Beck on WNBC's Sports Final on Sunday and said, Nils Lundqvist on being drafted, it feels unbelievable to be part of the Rangers. When they said my name at the draft I couldn't believe that it happened. I'm really excited to see what happens and looking forward to prospect camp and next. I'm really glad. Vitaly Kravtsov on being drafted. I'm really excited to be in New York. Great city, great fans, great team. This is my dream. Chris Kreider on what he remembers about the draft. It's definitely a whirlwind, a fun few weeks where you can look back on and smile. Work comes right after the draft, prospect camp this week, and it's kind of trial by fire because they haven't been on the ice and have been focusing on the draft and combine and get thrown right into it. It's a fun experience and something they should try to enjoy and soak up as much as they can. The players at the Rangers prospect camp are wearing shirts that read "Count on Us." December 27, 2017. New York, USA. New York Rangers center Mika Zibanejad 93 celebrates after scoring a goal during an overtime shootout against the Washington Capitals at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit, Danny Wilde. USA Today Sports. Danny Wilde. Larry Brooks writes that the Rangers intend to create some space down the middle so that Philip Cahill can have a shot at winning a spot in the top 6 next. NY Post. He notes that because of that, and where Elias Anderson would slot, the Rangers may have to make a decision on whether to trade Mika Zibanejad and then keep Kevin Hayes or keep Zibanejad and trade Hayes. NY Post. Hayes, 26, can be a UFA next summer and is currently in RFA with arbitration rights. SNY. The Rangers have announced that 36 players will join the team at Prospect Development Camp this week in New York. Forwards, Elias Anderson, Morgan Barron, Philip Cahill, Gabriel Fontaine, Kevin Hancock, Brett Howden, Dylan McLaughlin, Tim Gettinger, Dawson Leadall, Michael Lindqvist, Drew Melanson, Riley Hughes, Vitaly Kravtsov, Josh Melnick, Vil Meskanen, Lauri Pajunami, Ty Ronning, Tyler Nan, Mason Berg. Defense, Alex Basso, Sean Day, Nico Gross, Liber Hajek, Joey Keane, Simon Kjellberg, Ryan Lindgren, Nils Lundqvist, Kanta Miller, Brogan Rafferty, Jacob Ragnarsson, Calais Yalin, Josh Tevez goalie, Alexander Georgiev, Adam Husker, Olaf Lindbom, Tyler Wall. March 12, 2018. New York, USA. New York Rangers left wing Jimmy Vesey 26 reacts with left wing Pavel Buchnevich 89 in front of Carolina Hurricanes defenseman KLA's Dahlbeck 6 after scoring a goal during the third period at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit, Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. Rangers GM Jeff Gorton met with the media on Saturday following the NHL draft and said NYR, his thoughts, feel great. Yesterday was a huge day for us with the 3 picks and really excited about what we were able to do. Today was more about value in our list and getting guys that had potential and that we were really high on. I think we were able to do that. Why take Olof Lindbom in round 2? There are forwards, defense and goalie. It's not like we have 22 positions here. We trying to take the best players on our list and we had a goalie first overall, by a long shot. We thought that with our history with goalies and who we have in our organization to help develop goalies, that it would be a good pick. We will see. Only one goalie plays for you at a time and we will see how it works out. Over time, the value of goalies is very high. We like the player a lot and felt like it was an opportunity that we couldn't pass up at that time. SNY 11:28 AM. At 39, the Rangers have selected Swedish goalie Olof Lindbom, the first goalie selected in the draft. He was ranked 59th by the Hockey News April 3, 2018. Calgary, Alberta. Can Calgary Flames defenseman Dougie Hamilton 27 skates during the warm-up period against the Arizona Coyotes at Scotiabank Saddledome. Mandatory credit. Sergei Belsky, USA Today Sports. Sergei Belsky. The Calgary Flames and Carolina Hurricanes struck a deal that sent Mackenzie, Dougie Hamilton, Adam Fox and Michael Phelan to Carolina. Elias Lindholm and Noah Hannafin to Calgary. Both the Flames and Hurricanes had been mentioned as possible trading partners for the Rangers. It was reported yesterday by Larry Brooks that the Rangers were not interested in Hamilton and that Fox, who was defense partners with Ryan Lindgren for Team USA in the past, was not available. Russian athlete Ilya Kovalchuk 71 celebrates with Sergei Andronov 11 after scoring a goal during the second period of the preliminary round of the men's hockey game at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Gangneung, South Korea, Saturday, February 17, 2018. App photo, Matt Slocum, app June 22, 2018 Dallas, Texas, USA Mandatory credit, Jerome Moron USA Today Sports. Jerome Moron Rangers Director of Player Personnel Gordie Clark met with the media following the first round of the NHL draft and said NYR, on picking Kravtsov, HES such a high-end hockey player. We had him as the second best forward in the draft and everyone was on board. We all went to see him. What he did in the playoffs certainly stamped. We've been on him since last November and followed him all year long. What he did in the playoffs didn't surprise us at all. Looked like he was just getting ready to break out for an 18-year-old boy at that level. Danny Wild with their picks in the first round on Friday. The Rangers selected Vitaly Kravtsov at 9, Kander Miller at 22 and Nils Lundqvist at 28. The Rangers originally had the 26th pick but traded up to 22 and sent 26 and 47 to Ottawa for 22. Heading into Saturday's Day 2, the Rangers have the following picks: 2nd round, 39 3rd round, 70, 88 4th round, 101 5th round, 132 6th round, 163 11, 26 p.m. Jeff Gorton said on NBCSN, "We were trying to get the best players that we could. We got 3 players that were pretty high on our list. The move for Miller was something that we felt wasn't going to be there with our later picks, so we moved up a few spots to get him. To get Lundqvist there, we are feeling pretty good about the day so far. On the rest of the draft, we're really comfortable. We like our list, we think it's deep and that we have a lot of players left. We have quite a few picks left, so we are ready for tomorrow." On David Quinn, "He fits right in, looks the part and is happy to be here and so far so good. He hasn't lost any games." Jerome Moron with the 28th pick. The Rangers selected Swedish defenseman Nils Lundqvist. From the Rangers release, Lundqvist, 17, turns 18 years old on July the 27th, split this past between Luleå in the Swedish Hockey League SHL and Luleå's junior team in Super Elite. He skated in 28 SHL games with Luleå, registering 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points, along with a +2 rating. His 28 games played were tied for the second most among SHL defensemen younger than 18 years old in 2017-18. Darlin 41. He averaged 1,600 of ice time in his 28 SHL games and posted a +- rating of even a better in 22 of the 28 contests. The 5'11", 172-pounder was selected as the best defenseman in Super Elite in 2017-18. In addition, he registered 5 assists and posted a +5 rating in 6 playoff games during the Lundqvist participated in the 2018 IIHF U18 World Championship, registering 2 assists and a +1 rating in 7 games while helping Sweden earn a bronze medal. At the 2018 NHL Scouting Combine, Lundqvist ranked second in the vertical jump 26.7 inches, finished third in the standing long jump 114.5 inches, and finished fourth in the no-arm jump 20.69 inches. Jerome Moran with the 22nd selection, the Rangers chose defenseman Cantor Miller. The Rangers traded 26 and 48 to Ottawa for 22. 48 was the pick the Rangers acquired from New Jersey for Michael Grabner. From the Rangers' release on Miller, 18, skated in 58 regular and tournament games with the U.S. national U18 team in the United States Development Program USNTDP this past, registering 9 goals and 20 assists for 29 points, along with a +23 rating and 26 penalty minutes. The 6'3", 199-pounder has been a member of the USNTDP for each of the last two 2016-17 and 2017-18. Miller helped the United States earn a silver medal at the 2018 IIHF U18 World Championship, as he registered 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists and a +4 rating in 7 games. In addition, he represented the United States at the 2016 World U17 Challenge, the 2017 U18 Five Nations Tournament, the 2016 U17 Four Nations Tournament, and the 2017 U17 Five Nations Tournament. Miller has also been invited by USA Hockey to the 2018 World Junior Summer Showcase. At the 2018 NHL Scouting Combine, Miller led all participants in the left-hand grip 170 pounds and the right-hand grip 180 pounds. Jerome Moran with the 9th overall selection, the New York Rangers selected winger Russian winger Vitaly Kravtsov. From the Rangers released Kravtsov, 18, received the Alexei Cherepanov Award as the Continental Hockey League's Rookie of the Year in 2017-18. In 16 games with Tractor Chelyabinsk during the 2018 Gagarin Cup playoffs, Kravtsov registered 6 goals and 5 assists for 11 points. Kravtsov's 11 points were the most a KHL junior player younger than 20 years old has registered in one playoff year in the league's history, eclipsing the previous record of 9 held by Evgeny Kuznetsov and Valery Nichushkin. In addition, Kravtsov's 6 goals in the 2018 Gagarin Cup playoffs were tied for the second most a KHL junior player has recorded in one playoff year in the league's history. The 6'3", 184-pounder was selected as the KHL's Rookie of the Month in both March and April of 2018, and he was also named the KHL's Best Rookie in each of the first 3 rounds of the 2018 Gagarin Cup playoffs. Kravtsov led all KHL players younger than 19 years old in assists and points, and he was also tied for first among KHL players younger than 19 years old in goals during the playoffs this past year. In addition, Kravtsov tied for 7th among all players in the KHL in goals in the 2018 Gagarin Cup playoffs, and he was also tied for 2nd among all players in the league in game-winning goals 3 in the playoffs. He registered at least 1 point in 7 of his first 9 playoff games in 2018, posting 4 multi-point games over the span, and he registered the game-winning goal in overtime in his first playoff game of the year on Mar. 4 against Neftahimik. David Quinn said on NBCSN that Kravtsov has a lot of hockey sense and skill. People rave about his character. He is someone we have talked an awful lot about over the last month and we are ecstatic to get to him. June 22, 18, 3:38 p.m. Jeff Gorton said on Thursday, for anybody that would be skeptical of a rebuild, all you have to do is look at the last few months and the trade deadline and some of the things we have done. I think it's pretty obvious we are trying to accumulate young players and assets and trying to get better and give these players opportunity. He added that the Rangers won't be a team of 18, 19, 20-year-olds and that we need to have the necessary players on our team that can help these guys learn the game and help us do everything we can to win every night. I think that is pretty clear where we are at. Larry Brooks wrote that the Rangers will jump in if a Price is Right player is available, but they are not trading away a boatload of draft picks and prospects. Ilya Kovalchuk, of the team from Russia, works out at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Gangneung, South Korea, Monday, February 12, 2018. App photo, Julio Cortez, app June 22, 18. Larry Brooks tweets that while it remains unlikely, Ilya Kovalchuk reportedly still has eyes for the Rangers. June 17, 18. According to Larry Brooks, in the NY Post, Ilya Kovalchuk has not ruled out signing with the Rangers but that he probably won't. NY Post Adam Hunger 9:46 p.m. Gorton's comments included NYR, on the 3 first-round picks, we intend to use them but they are in play. As of right now we will use them, but if something comes up that will change on how important this is, it's very important. 3 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. We have a lot of opportunity to make our team better for the future, build pieces that we need. It's a vital time for us. How excited are you? You think it's a couple of months away, but it goes fast. Our scouting staff has done a great job of going through the process, and we are excited about what is going to happen. Brad Penner. The NHL has announced the Rangers' schedule for the 2018-19, and the Rangers have sent through the following information. 6 of the first 9 games are at MSG. First 5 games at MSG are against Western Conference teams. 12 of their final 23 games are against Metro opponents. They have a long 5-game homestand from 2 hubs to 2/10, 11 back-to-back sets, same as 2017-18, and tied for the fewest among Eastern Conference teams. March is their busiest month with 15 games, 9 of which are on the road. The longest road trip is 4 games, and that happens 3 different times: October 25th 18 to November 1st 18, February the 12th 19 to February 19th 19, the 3rd of November 19 to March 16th 19. They reach the midway point of the on January 6, 2019 against the Coyotes. The Rangers' bye week begins on January 20th 19 and leads into the All-Star break on 1/26. The Rangers' last game before the bye week is 1/17 at Boston, and their next game is 1/29 against the Flyers. March 24, 2018, New York, USA. A general view of Madison Square Garden before a game between the Buffalo Sabres and New York Rangers. Mandatory credit. Danny Wild. USA Today Sports. Danny Wild. The NHL has announced that the upper limit for the 2018-19 salary cap will be $79.5 million. The salary floor will be $58.8 million, and the midpoint is $69.15 million. With the salary cap at $79.5 million, the Rangers are projected, as of now, to have at least $24.9 million depending on different roster construction. Cap-friendly. With a roster that includes Brendan Smith, Philip Keitel and Elias Anderson, the Rangers should have around $26.6 million in cap space. March 12, 2018, New York, USA. New York Rangers center Vladislav Namestyanov, 90, reacts after scoring a goal against the Carolina Hurricanes during the second period at Madison Square Garden. Mandatory credit. Brad Penner. USA Today Sports. Brad Penner. June 21, 18, 9:06 a.m. Larry Brooks writes that Namestyanov's agent has not heard yet from Rangers GM Jeff Gorton about anything related to contract talks. NY Post. Namestyanov is 2 years away from being a UFA, and his agent said that he isn't reading anything into not hearing from Gorton yet. NY Post. The 6th of November 18. Elliot Friedman wrote over the weekend that he is curious to see what the Rangers will do with Vlad Namestyanov. Sportsnet. June 21, 18, 9:06 a.m. Larry Brooks writes that unless Jeff Gorton can work out a deal with Montreal for the 3rd pick, it's likely the team will remain at 9. NY Post. Brooks says that at 9 the Rangers could possibly select from a group of Noah Dobson, Evan Bouchard and Oliver Wahlstrom. He notes that Swedish defenseman Adam Boqvist is not believed to be a target of the Rangers. NY Post. June 18, 18. According to Larry Brooks, while the Rangers have spoken with the Carolina Hurricanes about potentially acquiring the 2nd overall pick, a deal seems extremely unlikely. NY Post. Danny Wild. The 2018 NHL Awards were held on Wednesday, and the Rangers had the following players pick up votes. Lady Byng, Ryan Spooner tied for 26th, 1 second place vote, 1 third place vote. The Rangers did not have any players generate a vote for the Norris, Calder, Selke, Vezina, Hart Trophy or any of the end of All-Star teams. Jeff Gorton did not receive a vote for GM of the Year. April 4, 2017, Ottawa, Ontario. Can the Ottawa Senators celebrate a goal by defenseman Erik Karlsson, 65, in the first period against the Detroit Red Wings at Canadian Tire Centre? Mandatory credit. Marc Desrosiers. USA Today Sports. Marc Desrosiers